Welcome. I am Crimey Queen. If you are joining us for the first time, it's the channel where we have fun with words and numbers, numerology to be precise. This is where we activate self love by the use of the words we use, just being mindful of those words. And also, with the use of numerology, we are able to anchor onto the words that have certain vibrations that match our desires. So, for instance, the word love is that's interesting. I'm just saying that it equals 9, and that would mean that love has to be constant. So, love is on the same par as mirror or heaven and also hell as it happens, but it holds that number 9 on the sacrifice template. And of course, everything has its opposite, which is why we are saying love and hate. Love and hell in this sense. Hate might be 3. I'm not quite sure right now, but um, so basically, there are lots of words. So when we say love, it because 9 is that which births, and so it reminds us that love is constant, has to be constant, forever birthing, forever anew. Okay. And yes, so anyway, the purpose of this presentation is to really give a little insight or whatever of my experience of my aftermath of my Kundalini activation. So it's really about the aftercare, if you like, of having your Kundalini rise. There is an aftercare. You do need to be attentive to that. It's like being in a hospital or having had an operation, and you do need to really convalesce and really look after yourself. It is so important. You are likely to be very sensitive. In my experience, I had not understood exactly why I was sensitive, but I was because I was able to pick up the most minute vibration that did not match um, my notion of what things should be or how life should be. So, for instance, if someone didn't like me, I was able to hear what they were saying, or if they had something unpleasant to say, I was able to hear it. And on many occasions, people were quite surprised that I was able to um, let them know what I knew. So they would think, well, how did you know? Um, so basically, you become more psychic. Your psychic abilities increase to a much higher rate, and that is something, of course, um, which is very nice to have and to embrace. And it's to be mindful of how we can use those things when they happen to us. So, for instance, when you do know you have something which is like a tool or an instrument, then you can know how to use it. The thing is, with me, I wasn't quite sure of what was happening at the time. And I just knew I had to kind of defend myself, and I was going along like that. Perhaps it wasn't the easiest of experiences. There's another thing that happens as well. You may find that the people around you and place you live becomes it's no longer conducive for your environment, because you want quietness, you want positive vibes, you want lovely tunes. You can't stand to hear harsh words and cursing and even seeing nonsense on TV. You probably won't even want to watch TV. So that was another thing that I experienced, but I had stopped watching TV anyway. That made it much easier. But when you are sharing your home that you share with other people who are not like-minded, that may pose you a challenge. And so it is necessary that you find ways to use your time in ways that would also benefit you, not just, like writing, for instance, is always a very good way, or painting, or just expressing your emotion in those activities is just really a very important thing to do. And about aftercare for your Kundalini rise. Yes, you may still find yourself, like I did, crying periodically, but then again, um, that's because I was also writing about my experiences and the aftermath of my activation. So, of course, I had a lot of very painful experiences. So while I was writing, of course, the the pain was seeping out through the tears, if you like. So that if you do end up writing for any reason and find yourself crying or whatever it is, just remember it's just Mother Eve's way of nursing, the tender parts, those incisions that has been um, that had taken place to get rid of all the pain and get rid of all those terrible experiences. What else can I tell you? Yes, so writing is very good, which I did. Lots of writing. Continue to walk in nature. Continue to walk in nature. You may not want to associate yourself with many people, as I say, and that is fine. You don't need to feel obligated to mingle with groups or people that does not support you at that point, because as I say, it's like being in hospital or having had an operation. You've undergone an operation and you need care. You need lots and lots of love to help see you through. And the aftercare, okay, so it has two aspects to it. People will notice you. People will notice you tremendously, and will notice the gentleness about you. They'll notice the wonderful elements and vibration that you give because you are so much about love. And you also need to be mindful. Again, people may people may be attracted to you for different reasons, and they may want to hold on to you, or they may just want to acknowledge whatever it is that they have seen in you, which is really nice. And it wouldn't matter. It could be all sorts of people, children, grandparents, um, all sorts of people will be noticing you, because I believe there is something very profound in all of us that acknowledges love and gentleness and kindness and wants to be that. It's just that a lot of us are not prepared in how we can contain this love and gentleness. So what else can I tell you about activating your the aftermath or the aftercare? The aftercare is, yes, you will, as I say, have lots of attraction. There's lots of people who want to befriend you and love you and all sorts of things. But it's important that especially if you're single and you uh, maybe looking or wanting your soulmate or flame mate. I said flame mate, twin flame, whatever it is. Just be mindful. Take time with yourself. Um, just really ensure that you were nursed, you were healed, because it's about being bruised and you're not properly healed, and you may risk knocking yourself against an object or person, and find that your healing process takes longer, and you don't want that to happen. You want to enjoy your experience, you want to enjoy your newness, and so on. So yes, there is one vital thing, and I don't know why I even almost forgot. It's that you will find it, although I've more or less said it, but you will find it very difficult to handle seeing pain around you, or seeing, it's as if your eyes would be um, open even wider to the extreme of pain, um, calamities, and all sorts of things that exist in the world. And so, with that, you are also likely to find yourself crushed even more when you will see the pain in people's eyes, because it's as if you have now moved away from the pain forum, and now you are on the outside looking in. You are seeing where you was at, how painful it was. You see people walking around and you can see the pain in their eyes, and the deformities, and it's so intense, so that you don't want to be in public. You don't want to be, you just don't really want to be there. You're not comfortable being there. Well, that was my experience, and be mindful, I am speaking from my experience. And even now that I had my Kundalini activation in 2013, I think it's 2013. And even now, I am still on occasion struggling to balance my emotion with the pain that I see out in people's eyes. And so when I am in public, I have to really cite myself to learn how to um, balance my emotion really, and my mind, and of course remember to be non-judgmental. That is key. That is how I find the balance. This talking about key, this that again, that is Mother Eve. Mother Eve teaches us that, and this is where we become new. We are able to see things in a new way. This is the new we are talking about. So when I speak of Mother Eve, the story that we have been taught is about the Kundalini rise. That's what Mother Eve is about. And this is where Mother Eve ate of the fruit. Of course, the mouth is number 5. Mother Eve is 5. We have nose equals 8, but breath equals 5. Breathe or breath, equals 5. And it goes up. This is where the Kundalini gets activated in the pineal gland. Okay, so basically, it is so important to try. I don't think there's a prescription per se for how you move from one dimension to another, because in your Kundalini rise you are really moving into another dimension. You have moved to another dimension. You have you have touched the fifth dimension. You have merged, and this is where, in fact, you saying the word merge, you need to find a way that works for you to merge from three to five, and which I am still working on myself. So it's just really telling you that it's important to try and find a way that you can strike the balance of one dimension to another. It's like going from one city or one country to another. So you understand the dynamics and cultures and traditions of one state, or if it was America, you understand it's fast paced, and it's very I was gonna say very money oriented. Well, that's what came to mind. You go to the States to make money, or you come to make the or you have to have a hit, or you to have a break, so to speak. Okay, which the break comes with money. And then you come to London, which is a slower pace, and you are able to take in the sights of the buildings, and it's just slower, so basically it's like moving from, and I have compared, in fact, I compared the UK and the USA. Perhaps it's really not the best analogy here. It's like saying a third world country altogether, and then you move into, a third, well, I said a third world, and then you move into somewhere like the UK or the States. Okay, the States of America, or could be anywhere else that is modern, but you really find there are different traditions, cultures, beliefs, systems, and practices. So it's like you need to affiliate yourself with the modes of practices and traditions of those dimensions. And for me, where my challenge probably still is that even in the third dimension, so to speak, I have been, there were aspects of my being that I had not mastered, like perhaps using, I was going to say, using different functions on my mobile phone, um, or watching TV, or things like that. And so someone would be asking me a question on current affairs, or maybe making conversation, and maybe I feel there is not much to contribute to what they are saying. So it's just an instance of one of the challenges. If you make it a challenge, that is. In my case, I would just ask, well, can you tell me more? If I am interested, that is, or and just say, well, I haven't caught up with the news because I don't watch TV, but it sounds interesting what you're saying, and if you could tell me some more. So basically, that's one aspect here. Of course, in the fifth dimension now, there's the other challenge now, that what you have taken from the fifth dimension, or brought to the third dimension, how is it going to be received? You are often perceived mad, crazy, um, well, I and I hope in some way you have been a little bit like me, because that was a label that I carried for a long time before being aware of the fifth dimension. So I have created a degree of resilience on such terminologies. So that's okay. But in actual fact, there is a part of us that also wants to be understood, and you also want to share your insights with others, because you can see it's the path that, of course, saves us, if you like. um, on that path, you're not likely to have as much pain as you see down the road. And so there is the dance of trying to merge the two dimensions of the third dimension and the fifth dimension. So I hope you would find what works for you. And as I say, I believe it is a dance, and it's for the individual to explore and trust, because the trust is very important. It's a very important aspect of how we merge, or it creates the gel, it creates the bond or the pathway in helping us find or navigate from one dimension to another. So I hope you have enjoyed this. I hope you find this useful. And if you have any comments, please leave your comments. And if you like this presentation, click the like button and share. And remember, we are planting new seeds. I usually do my legal jingling, but my throat is saying, "Oh, not right now," and that's quite okay. And that's what it's about, learning to listen to our intuition. This is what I mean about when we do that, when you've been in the the fifth dimension, you learn how to obey, or how to love and how to honor your intuition. So, thank you. Namaste. Please click and like and share. Thank you.